What are you in the 1% of? I'm albino. I held a second-place world record for the Mushroom Gorge time trial in Mario Kart Wii for 15 minutes. So apparently my left eye is 32 mm. The average size is 21 to 27 mm. My eye doctor said it was neat. I don't have nipples, so probably that. According to my step counter. Walking. Not even kidding. I manage a warehouse and walk 10 to 15 miles a day at work. Apparently this is more than 99.3% of users. Turns out the one thing I'm exceptional at is the one thing almost everyone can do. Yay. Not as interesting or cool as others, but I am in the 1% of the population that has no immunity to rubella, even though I've been vaccinated for it several times. Apparently some people's bodies don't take to some vaccinations. Fine with everything else like mumps, measles, etc. It's just the rubella. I've also got type 2 Duane's syndrome in my right eye. Duane's being an uncommon eye condition anyway. Right eye being least common to have it in, and type 2 the least common of its type out of the 3 types. Won the Duane's lottery with that one. What shit are you too old for? Arguing with ignorant people on the internet. Petty games while talking to a potential partner. Just be straight up and real with me. Tricks are for kids. This sounds like some Instagram shit, but spending time around people that I genuinely don't like or who make me unhappy and uncomfortable. There's so short of a time we have on this earth in this time frame, and it just hit me right before I turned 30 that I spent a ton of time with people who I thought sucked. I cut that out and I'm much happier. Unnecessary drama. General admission tickets. My old ass requires a reserved seat. Staying up late. Eating fast food. And going to work without proper rest and nutrition. I was invincible. But the day came where I had to add brand to my diet and turn the computer off at midnight. What is your thought on the 1% rich in the world? Sorts by controversial. Technically that's me. On a worldwide level. Top 10% in the US. And I'm definitely not a millionaire. You gotta realize. Anyone making more than like $70,000 United States dollars per year is in the top 1% of the world technically. As a random citizen in a first world country, I'm thankful I get to live better than most people ever in history. Despite the problems around me, I'm very fortunate. Your phrasing is interesting. Top 1% of the world is pretty tenable if you are in a first world country. That just means you're slight over the mean income for America. I'd say most of the top 1% of the world are normal people. I feel like the top 1% are generally richer than the 99% that aren't. 35K. 50 to 60K before taxes. Or more yearly income as the top worldwide 1%. I'm fine with myself, I guess. Edit. I will clarify that the number is actually 35K. After taxes. So between 50 to 60K. People are arguing numbers. The percentile I referred to was from UN numbers from 2016, I believe. As half the Earth's population lives below the poverty line, there are billions that make pennies a day. The global median income is just $1,225 a year. Meaning that the world's emerging middle classes are very far from reaching a level of wealth which would make them well off by Western standards. For reference, the poorest 5% of Americans earn on average the same as the richest 5% of Indians. More than half of the world's wealth resides in the West alone. I will lastly add, to the people saying, 70 million is 1% of the world's population, in that statistic. Whether be it dishonesty or ignorance. You are adding all non-income earning people into the statistics. That means you are adding 40% of the world's population, which is under 15 and over 65 years of ages, as well as all the non-working adults. These people earn no income and should be excluded in your calculations. Only about 60% of the world population earns an income. In America alone, 61% of people did not pay a federal income tax last year as they didn't make enough income to qualify. What was supposed to be the next big thing but failed miserably? Google Glass, Google Plus 3D TV. Google Plus, it was supposed to be the next Facebook. Guess not. Segue. Not entirely relevant. But I liked the trend where everybody wanted the smallest cell phone possible. For 20 years cell phones got smaller and smaller, often being the main selling point of the phone. Then all of a sudden you could watch videos on your phone. And almost overnight the trend reversed to larger is better. Everything that was supposed to replace the computer mouse. Firefest is going to be bigger than Lollapalooza. It'll be like a tropical Coachella. If tomorrow you wake up in a hospital bed greeted by a doctor saying you've just awoken from a year-long coma and the year is now 2010, what would be the first thing you say? I'd probably be heartbroken that all of the progress in my life was just a fleeting dream. Especially meeting my best friend. Though, given the family dog would still be alive, I'd leap into action to learn how to train her, to walk her, etc., etc. She died of something fully preventable if she had been fixed, and wasn't able to be operated on because she was obese. My parents are awful at taking care of pets and I was an apathetic teen. I don't blame myself, but if I could go back, I'd 100% try to at least give her a better lot in life. Where is my dog? I have several lives to save. 2010? Then. That thing actually did land on me? Quote. For context, back in 2009 during my second year of high school, a heavy 6x4 wooden beam with a heavy metal shade blind landed right beside me and broke the desk I was in during a Year 8 science theory lesson about the forces of gravity. Ironically. Oh, that would give me 8 more years with my beloved husband Gray. Yes please. He died the 21st of August 2018 and I still miss him with every breath I take. Alright, listen very carefully. We have 6 years to make sure this one kid stays away from a gorilla enclosure. When the gorilla dies, the end begins. You get the ability to bring one person back from the dead at the age they were when they died. Who do you bring back? Can I keep the ability for when I really want to use it? My wife. She died of cancer in her mid-50s several years ago. I'd give anything to be able to grow old with her. Purely as a gift for my father, my mother. My sister. She died at 23 when her baby was 10 months old. They both deserve to have her be the mommy he needed. My dad. He was 28 as he died. I was 5. I am 30 now. Maybe my husband. He died 13 years ago at age 37. So wanted to get old with him. If the main character of your favorite movie simply said, "Fuck it. Not my problem," and did nothing, how would the rest of the movie play out? The McFlys would still be a depressed, dysfunctional family. New York would be haunted as fuck. Luke gets the droid's memory wiped and that's the end of it. Exactly the same because this is what the dude said. Hello Mr. Anderson, what's happening? Are you gonna have those TPS reports for us this afternoon? The Colonial Marines rupture the primary heat exchangers of the atmosphere processing plant and adios muchachos. What would you do with $1 million? Pay off debts, buy a house. Keep going to work. park it somewhere safe and collect a paycheck each year from it with a really changing quality of life.
Subscribe, my brothers.